Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 17 here on Sudbury with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, we have moved into October here on the farm, and you can see our soybeans are ready here, and they are grade A, folks. Grade A, our first grade A crop ever on the farm. So that is pretty darn exciting. And there were no shenanigans by Farmer Murphy to make that happen. That just happened naturally. And in fact, I thought we might struggle to make grade B. They were so dry all last month, but we must have got a ton of rain overnight, is all I can say, because the moisture came way up into the A territory. So we are not going to look that gift horse in the mouth. We are going to take advantage of that. And we are going to do the first harvest here on this field in a cinematic, as you may have guessed. So sit back and enjoy the tunes. Well, there we go. Harvest is done. Hope you enjoyed that cinematic. 42,000 of grade A soybeans in our silo. So that is awesome. I don't know if I mentioned it. I actually know I did. I did mention it. That's our first grade A crop here on the farm. So that's pretty exciting. Anyways, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and we have time to do one more chore. So let's jump in this beastie here. Now, it is a tick loud, but you probably won't notice because I'll turn that down in editing. But I do enjoy listening to it. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Now we are going to get loaded up here with digestate. I did a little test because we are in October and I have not forgotten that $20,000 fine. But I think I found the loophole because it does not mention in the regulations digestate specifically. So I did a little test. I threw some digestate on the field and then jumped ahead, and no fine was put upon us. So I think we're safe. So that means this field we're going to throw digestate on, then we're going to mulch, and then another layer of digestate, and then we've got some seeding to do. Now I think we'll give steering assist a try here. That should be good. Oh, every once in a while my equipment doesn't want to start up. There we go, and we are underway. Zoom out here a little bit. Wow, even this tractor's struggling a little bit. Of course, it was kind of starting on the hill. It had no momentum, but it's got about, what would it be, 75 horsepower, I guess, more. No, sorry, it would be 50 horsepower more than the 9190, and the 9190 struggles with this a little bit on the hills. So this doesn't have that much more horsepower, I guess. So we do want to seed this field and our other field right next door with wheat and barley, and that is for our primarily for our production of mineral feed, although some of the barley we could use to feed the pigs as well, well, the wheat for that matter. But oh man, it's really making it grunt. I'm surprised by that. And I was going to use the 9190 for this, but because we're doing it, we're not using course play, I was worried about the front tires falling through, so I decided to use this one to further test it, and I thought it would pull the slurry tanker a little better, but it doesn't do any better than 9190, I would say. Anyways, yes, getting back to that. So we're going to put wheat and barley in. So I think we're going to do the seeding in a cinematic. We haven't done that for a long time. And I think we will put the 9190 on that. It seemed to handle that seeder no problem. And like I said, I don't, so far, touch wood, haven't had any issue with it having issues when I use it with course play with the tires falling through. So I think that's what we'll do. But so far, this tractor has worked great. We've had no issues with it. So I think we will keep it. And so it's 13,000. Oops, missed my signal there. It was $13,000 and something like that that we've got to delete, which I will do in order to keep it. I've got the exact number written down. And you know what? We're not that far, I don't think, from being able to implement precision farming. It does mean we're going to have to invest in some, different equipment, but we do want to go there. It was just a cost was preventing it from us from doing it earlier. And this tractor here, we can put the crop sensors on. So for our fertilization and that, that's why I wanted this tractor, because none of our older ones have that capability. Now this field's going to take a few tanker loads. We've gone through 70% to get around this first headland. So going to be probably into the 3 tankers, I'm thinking. And we'll start it off downhill this time. This headland. Oh, I don't think I grabbed the right line. Well, that should get it there for sure, I would think. That looks better. This was a pretty good sized field. It caught me kind of by surprise. I knew it was a good size, but when I came to harvest, it took over an hour in real life, like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, something like that, to harvest it with our harvester. So it's a pretty good size. And we'll put, I haven't decided, boy, it looks like it missed a part. That's probably my fault. Let's go back and clean that up. I'll pick whichever field is the biggest and put I guess the wheat in, because wheat is what we need 2 parts of compared to barley for our mineral feed. So we want the wheat in our largest field, which I'm going to kind of think is this one here. And so whatever it is we put in this field, that's likely where I'll do the cinematic, just because we've seen cinematics on the other fields lots of times. Man, it's just about half empty and it's still bogging it down on that hill. But that's all right. It made her up. This is another map I didn't realize till I did this field. That's got the tile risers in the field. I do like that. There's no collision on them or anything, so they don't impede your farming in any way. It's just a nice touch. So we're going to we'll probably start our construction on the other field. I'm not doing anything at all with it. I'll likely just paint grass over it at some point. But we'll probably do our construction in late winter or early spring, because that's where I messed that corner up. So we'll have to do a cleanup again. We won't add animals in the dead of winter. We'll wait until spring to do that. So I think we're going to pretty much sit on our money. Although, I am tempted. We're up to about 240,000 right now. I am, have to admit, tempted to pay off our mortgage, and because that would still leave us with, well, close to 100,000. So I'll waffle on that a little bit. I haven't decided. I may just sit on it for the winter, or I may end up paying it off. Or I guess what as an alternative, because this is leased, we could pay out this lease, yeah, so we don't have that payment. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just buy this out because I don't know what that'll cost us. It was used 40% off, so it probably cost us about 50 grand to buy it out. So I might do that. We'll investigate that potentially. I did look into changing the paint color on this. Yeah, and it's a case of I are not smart enough. It's not like the other mods I've messed with. So it's going to stay this little bit different. It is an orange hue, but it's certainly not the original orange. I think that's right about there. Well, let me just check. I think what I'll do is I will leave you there. We've got one more round and I'll have to fill this tanker up again. But we'll come back in and show a little of the mulching on this field before we move into the cinematic. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Well, good morning and welcome back to the farm, everybody. It is the next day, 8 o'clock in the morning. And look at this. Government inspector here already at work at 8 a.m. I ask you, what government employee actually starts at 8 o'clock in the morning? Come on, give me a break. Certainly none that you need access to anyways, that's for sure. But anyways, I did manage to get the digestate on the field yesterday, so that job is done. But that was the last job I was able to get done in the day. So we need to do mulching, and we use the star of the show, in my opinion, the old D21 to do that job. But before we take it in the field, we have a couple chores we need to do with it here on the farm. So let's jump in the old girl and get her going here. Now we're going to throw the bucket on because we need to pick the milk up at the cow pen, but we might as well take some mineral feed over with us. Oops, I guess I better get lined up here a little better than that, farmer. Yeah, because we're short on mineral feed again. You know what? Maybe we'll take and deliver that cheese while we got the bucket on too, rather than throwing it in the buggy. I'm gonna have to jump at a cap for this. Oh yes, we have to set narrow for the mineral feed. Oh well, it'll work. I think we can make it work. This will throw another $6,300 in the old bank account. Now we are still buying the wheat and barley, obviously, to make our mineral feed. We have the oats on hand, but I know I planned on using the canola and some of the soybean for making mineral feed. Actually, we can go back in cab. Maybe I won't drive so much like a drunken sailor. I promise I had nothing extra in the coffee this morning. And that is our first, that soybean crop was our first grade A crop, man. It feels, it doesn't feel right to make mineral feed out of it, but when you actually think about it, by making mineral feed out of it, we save more money on mineral feed than we would get by selling it, if that makes sense. So financially, it is a smart thing to do. So I'll make a decision there on that in a little bit. I've just recently bought some materials, so we have you know, some mineral feed on the go, we're good for a month, probably close to 2 months, I would say. So we can wait on that decision, but let's try back in cab again, and away we go. I too like this old tractor. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's from an era close to when I was farming as a teenager. I don't know, but I do like it. Now, rip in here, and we will grab our mineral feed, drop it off, and then we can pick up our milk at the same time. Oh, once again, we need to jump out of cab. The way these pallets come out oriented is why I've got the fork set narrow like that. You can see I've got the new Alice sitting there. It's ready to go again once we get the mulching done. Ooh, a rush of traffic here this morning. And I know from experience, you have to watch for them. They're not going to stop for you. Ask me how I know. All right. Now, see how good I am at finding the trigger here without the markers up. I think right about there should do it. Oh, look at that first try. It's going to be a good day. So you can see we have 2,300 liters. That's in a 24-hour time period. So this holds 1,500 liters. So eventually we get to a point where I can take 2 trips in a day. Today is not the day though. But once a month, I think. But it still pretty much gives us a pallet of cheese every day, and then like I say, once a month we kind of get 2 pallets, and then of course we get lucky and get some goat cheese every once in a while because we get enough goat milk. There we go. Now I am going to have to throw this on quick because I don't know what tool I'm on here. That one, okay. We'll unhook that one because we don't need it anymore. Oh no, there he is. It was just camouflaged. I thought the inspector had left. And we're done with this. And we're done with you. All right, so now we can get the mulcher on and we can get out in the field. Now once we mulch, or sorry, yes, once we mulch, then I'll throw another layer of digestate on, and then we can seed. And I think we'll do the seeding with the 9190. Just because we can. I've run the other Alice, what is it, 97 something or other, I can't remember the exact number. Did that hook on now? No, it did not. Let's zoom in here and get a little better position there so we can see. How's that for an idea? Yeah, I've tested it enough. I'm pretty sure we're not going to have any issue with it. And it's like I know I'm repeating myself, but I needed a tractor like this, a bigger one that I could drive and do things with where the tires didn't fall through. But the 9190 so far has not had that issue when course play is on the go. But because we have it, I think we'll look in sooner rather than later at putting precision farming in place on our farm. But that is going to cost us a little bit of money. Now, I think I'm just going to do this, what I call freehand, just do it myself. One, because it's an easy job to do that way. And two, I just really like using this tractor in the field. And I don't care if there's a little bit of overlap. It's a pretty easy job to do yourself. And as you can see, it's easy to see the texture change. Another interestingly shaped field, but I do like that about this map. Of course, if we had the old FS19 workers, I might not be so happy with it, but now that I can use course play or the new in-game workers and of course steering assist, I enjoy the fields like this. Gives it a bit more character and a little bit more true to life, I think. Oops. Oh man. I glanced away to check how long I've been recording. That's why I missed that spot. To find out that I've already kind of at my target time. That went, as usual, faster than I thought. But we'll give you a couple more minutes of this, because I think it's worth it. See the traffic rushing by, everybody on their way to work in town this morning, I imagine. Well, I guess I really do need to leave you there, or this episode will get too long. So I will bring you back in for a seeding cinematic, is what my plan is. Now, this is a rather large field. I think I'll double check, but like I said, I'm going to put wheat in the largest field, which I'm sure is this one. And also it's got no weeds in it, so that's where the cinematic will happen. Because there's the other field where we're going to be seeding in, that one over there. But our seeder's not that big, and there are a few hills, so that might make the old 9190 grunt. The cinematic may not go much beyond the headlands, but that's because I have a limited window to get this done, so I can't kind of wait on the field to progress to finish the cinematic. And it's for that same reason too that I'll probably won't do any other introduction. I'll just jump right into the cinematic. That's the next thing you see. So hopefully that makes sense, but I'm just trying to get this done for this episode in the window I have, so I'm just kind of doing things as efficiently as I can. So I will leave you there, and I will say sit back and enjoy the tunes. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that cinematic. As you can see, as if by magic, work is carrying on there behind us. I did have to kind of bail out of this one a little bit early just due to real life time constraints. It is going to take probably close to an hour and a half in real time to get this field seeded. Now, as you can see, we had no issue with the 9190 falling through the map when we were using course play. It just unfortunately seems to happen when I'm driving it that it'll have that issue. So that's good news. That means we can keep it around the farm. You get to see it doing things like this. And it seemed to have no more issue with these hills than the 9700 did. But I am going to finish up. It is wheat we're putting in this field. I'm going to get barley in the other field and get them rolled up. But I'm going to do that off camera. And that will finish up our work here for the fall. But last year I regretted not doing a winter episode. So we are going to do a winter episode this year on the farm. We are not going to jump through to spring. So you have that to look forward to. But until that happens, I'll have to say goodbye for now. So if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode here on Sudbury, it's me, Farmer Murphy, signing off.